On this episode of Gameball NFL Endzone, we're going to recap the top matchups that we brought to you in Week 11. Obviously, we record this on Monday evening, so the Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles Rams are in progress as we speak. Also in the second segment, we're going to discuss which team in the NFL has the best offense. Also, those teams, which team was a little bit overrated and which team was a fluke. And, of course, we're going to bring to you in the third segment the top 4 matchups to look out for in Week 12 of the National Football League. It's going down. Stick around. Gameball NFL Endzone is going down. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
It's your boy, Michael Riley.
And, of course, our brother Luke Harden couldn't be in the building with us this week. However, of course, we got his predictions on deck for Week 12 matchups as well. We're going to kick things off with the 3 matchups. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles Rams are playing as we speak, as this is Monday night. The Dallas Cowboys, they would come up with another win, defeating the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 22-19. The 2 matchups that we are going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and start with the first one. The Houston Texans will get it done against the Washington Redskins by a score of 23-21. Mike, how did the Texans get it done against Washington?
Well, their defense played good enough to win, even though they gave up 21 points. And thoughts and praise go out to Alex Smith in that ugly injury he suffered yesterday.
Yeah.
I just cringe. You just hate for those types of plays that happen, but that's part of football. And hopefully he's recovered soon, get well, is not career threatening. So we send our salutes and shout out to Alex Smith. Recover well, buddy. And it's just Houston, Texas, they've been on the road and they never look back. The Washington Redskins defense couldn't do enough to stop Deshaun Watson and the Texas offense. I mean, it was a little bit high scoring, but the Texans were able to execute better offense and defense to get the win. And I feel like Deshaun Washington is starting to grow into Bill O'Brien's offense. And everything just started clicking at the right time. They're on a 7-game winning streak roll, and they never look back. And see this team a potential threat to the playoffs in the AFC conference. All
right. Houston Texans getting it done once again against Washington Redskins. That injury, that was something. When your coach goes on record and says that he turned away when he saw it, that lets you know how bad it was. Like it was.
That injury kind of reminds you of what happened to Joe Theismann with Lawrence Taylor hit him like that. It was the exact same thing like that.
Well, but once again, we wish the best for Alex Smith, former Kansas City Chief quarterback. We definitely wish you a well recovery. The second match we're going to talk about, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are definitely on a Super Bowl hangover, and their season has definitely implicates that, and you see that a lot with teams that appear in the Super Bowl, whether they win it and half the time if they lose or not. But that Super Bowl appearance, it just seems like that team is never the same. Maybe it's because Carson Wentz was injected back into the lineup and instead of Nick Foles. I mean, there could be a lot of things. I want to hear your opinion on that. But however, Drew Brees, I mean, he's definitely shown that he's a candidate for MVP of the National Football League. 48-7 over the Eagles in this matchup. What's going on with the Eagles, Mike? You got to tell us something, man.
The Philadelphia Drunkles. That's what happened. I mean, offense, defense, special teams, it was pathetic. And I'll get more to that in our latest segment. They just flat out play poor play like garbage. Piss poor performance. That's all I gotta say. And the Saints, to me, just put up video game mat numbers. They came out and balled. Drew Brees is on another level right now. And the reason why he's on another level, because that offensive line is doing a good job of keeping him clean in the pocket. And that running game, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, ooh.
Two-headed monster.
This team is a potential Super Bowl contender. The way they score and the defense only gave up 7 points. Mm-hmm. Ooh. The road to the Super Bowl in the NFC is going through New Orleans. That's all I got to say.
Who that? Who they? Saints got it done. 48-7 once again against the Eagles. Drew Brees is almost 40 years old, and he is still playing at a high level, just like Tom Brady. Like, it's insane that these guys, in most sports, they would be past their prime. They show no signs of that at their ages. I'm telling you, this is the reason why I've gave up Fruit Loops and I'm on a Cheerio diet. I'm just saying, I care about my body now thanks to these two guys. But that's going to do it for this first segment in Gameball NFL Endzone. Once again, the second segment, out of these three teams, the New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Kansas City Chiefs, which of those three teams has the best offense? And also, out of those three teams, which one was a fluke? And also, how overrated is that team? Mike's going to tell you all about that when we come back. We're just getting started. Stick around. Gameball NFL Endzone. We'll be back in a moment. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Now, we got three teams we're going to talk about, and which of these three has the best offense in the National Football League? New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, and Kansas City Chiefs. Mike, out of these three teams, in your opinion, who has the best offense?
The New Orleans Saints, by far, the best offense in the NFL. The points per game they put up after the Week 1 loss, they're on a 9-game winning streak and never look back. I mean, this Saints team is on another level. They're on another planet. Receiver Michael Thomas is playing at a high level, looking at a contract extension, which well deserved. Mm-hmm. The two-headed running backs, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, playing on another level. And Drew Brees, oh my God, this dude is insanely playing well right now. But the team that is the part of the team that's playing really well is the offensive lineman. They do a good job of keeping their quarterback clean in their pocket. Their defense has some issues early parts, but they started to figure out, and they're balling. To hold Eagles to 7 points, man, that defense going on with that offense, this is the scariest team in the NFL right now. I mean, who that said they're going to beat them Saints? So far, nobody. I mean, what else can you say? I put the Rams offense second, and I put the Chiefs offense third, respectably. But the Rams' offense is playing on a different level right now. I'm just like, every possession, touchdown, 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 field goal, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. I mean, they rarely punt. The punt is on a beach right now chilling. Hey, babe, what's going on? I ain't punting yet. Give me dinner when I get home. I mean, they're just playing good ball right now, and that's all I got to say.
And I'm going to say this as a Chiefs fan, too. I mean, and I say this without bias. I strongly agree with the Saints. The Saints, Drew Brees is ridiculous. I feel like he's right there with Tom Brady. No, he doesn't have the Super Bowl rings. but just his level of play is outstanding, and he puts up consistent numbers, 300 plus passing yards per contest.
And he has the highest completion percentage in the NFL right now, which is over 70.
Which doesn't make any sense. Now, the Chiefs and the Rams, I feel like in that regards, I feel like could be debatable to an extent. Todd Gurley is, I feel like right now, he's the most consistent and effective running back. Jared Goff is underrated. I've said that since the last couple years. I feel like Jared Goff does not get his just due, and I feel like they still don't talk about him enough. I just feel like, to be honest with you, I just feel like the Chiefs just have more weapons, and they just have the speed. They have the dominance. You cannot stop them from scoring. I feel like what really kind of made me question the Rams to an extent is when they did play against quality teams. You can kind of say that against the Chiefs, because you can say that. But I feel like against the Saints, I feel like against Green Bay, they weren't as a fine-oiled machine as we've seen them in previous weeks. So I feel like it's interchangeable. I mean, I won't debate with you too much about that. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the Chiefs are just right there with the Rams. I'll say there's no third-place team in this one. I feel like the Saints are number one, and I feel like the Rams...
Two-headed tie.
Yes. And I would say the Rams and the Chiefs are tied for second place. But I agree with you 100%. The Saints, they're deadly. And when you have two running backs, you can interchange running backs.
Attention,
and
patrons, the time
it doesn't slow them down.
The library is closing
And both of those teams can get it done.
Ask any patron with
I'm
a
good with
library
that.
card to come to the account
Now, the second part that we're going to talk about are those three teams, Mike. This is what's going to be an interesting topic for me is, of these three teams, who is a fluke, though, of these three teams?
Well, I'm going to start a little bit of ranking. I'm going to go with the third, Atlanta Falcons, because all that hype about that 24-point lead lost in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, they'll come back, respond well. And to me, ever since that Super Bowl loss, they haven't been the same, and it's starting to show.
Right.
And yesterday, they lost a close game against the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm just looking like, wow. Atlanta Falcons, they're definitely in the team that could be overrated or a fluke. Now, secondly, Jacksonville Jaguars, a.k.a. Jacksonville Frog Wires, they're a bunch of frauds. Their defense played well yesterday against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, they did.
Jalen Ramsey, if he could just keep his mouth shut and just shut up and ball, that's what the best corner does. I mean, he had 2 key interceptions, but Blake Bortles messes it up again. I'm going to be honest, Blake Bortles, he needs to go. He's a bust. He's got to go. And the last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles, a.k.a. the Philadelphia Drunkos, drinking off that Super Bowl hangover. They are overrated, and their Super Bowl was a fluke. I said it. Their Super Bowl win was a fluke. When have you known a Super Bowl team go 4-6 and give up 48 points, almost 50 points to a blowout loss to the Saints yesterday? I mean, it was just pathetic. Whatever they're doing, they drinking, they're doing too much of it. Feeling themselves, whatever, this and this and that. Their season is over. Their season is done. They are overrated. I said it. The Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl was a fluke, and your season is done.
I'm going to say this. The team that really disappoints me, it's a toss-up, because the Atlanta Falcons, after they lost back-to-back games at home early in the season, that was my indication that they're in for a long season. When you lose back-to-back games at home. Now, the first one against the Saints, that was a good game, and they played well. Drew Brees, that was basically the start of his MVP candidacy for me. But then when you turn around and you had an opportunity to bounce back at home and you still drop it after that, I mean, I don't know. That to me in itself, the Philadelphia Eagles, I'll give them a break, because, I mean, like I said, we've seen this time and time again. It's almost the same as a Madden curse for one individual player on the cover. Usually when that person is on the cover for John Madden, usually they just have a tanking season. Couldn't tell you why. I mean, I would not be happy if I was on the cover of Madden. I'd be like, take me off of that. Replace me with somebody else, man. I'm trying to win. But Usually with a team that comes back from a Super Bowl, usually they seem not to do well. We saw that with the Carolina Panthers.
Well, they usually be in the playoffs, but not like this.
I mean, we saw that with the Carolina Panthers when they played the Seahawks.
Yeah,
and they were a different team.
But at least they made it back to the playoffs. But look at Philadelphia Eagles. That's terrible.
I'll probably say for me, I mean, to me, yes, it's a disappointing for Philadelphia. I think this is one they won a Super Bowl. Nobody's job is on the line. You kind of wipe this clean. Next year, I feel like it's going to be a different story. It's a toss-up between me and the Jaguars because the Jaguars, all of that hype that came in. I mean, they had the most hype. Like they're going to the Super Bowl. They're a contender. Everybody wrote this team off as like the favorite, and they are sitting at 3-7. They season's done. Number 1 rated defense. Blake Bortles. Lost his job at one point in the season, and this team is nowhere near what they were last season. So if I had to pick the most overrated, I'm gonna say Jackson.
I would be surprised if some of their coaches on the hot seat.
I would agree with that one 100%. And that's going to do it for this second segment of Gameball NFL Endzone. Coming up, Week 12 is just days away. So a week away to be exact. The matchups going into Week 12. We got Seattle. We're going to talk about the Broncos, the Titans, the Packers. We're going to talk about that. And their respective matchups is going down. We ain't going nowhere. Neither should you. Gameball NFL Endzone will be back in a minute. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone. In the third segment, of course, we're going to come at you with the top 4 matchups we've got for in Week 12, as well as the predictions for each of those matchups. Starting first, the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. Mike, what do you like about this matchup?
Well, it's both a playoff potential at stake, but I feel like Seattle is more hungrier. And Carolina let one slip away. Mm-hmm. And Seattle got a big win at home Thursday night against the Packers. So they'll have to continue that progress. For the offense, you just got to get better. And you got to get more of the running game going and let Russell Wilson make plays. And defensively, you got to find a way to stop the Carolina Panthers offense. The defense was not once the same Legion of Boom defense. The players has been gone, departed. Earl Thomas is more likely leave next year. So they have to find a way to do that. And Carolina Panthers defensively has to find a way to stop the Seahawks offense. Their defense last few weeks just been flat out awful and anemic. They got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what they're going to do. Offensively, you got to do better. Cam Newton missed that throw on the 2-point conversion that would have won them the game because he threw it a little behind the shoulders of the receiver. If we would just right on target, they would have won. So if Carolina find a way to fix their problems, they'll be fine.
All right. Second matchup. This is a good one, actually. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. Tell us about this one.
Well, this could be a trap game for Pittsburgh, but not really. Denver in my opinion, got lucky by the hair of the chin. The Chargers could play better than that, yeah. But it is what it is. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were down early, but they found a way to bounce back. You cannot afford to be down early. You have to be aggressive. You got to score quickly and show no mercy against the Denver defense. And the offensive line is going to have to find a way to block Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, who's playing ball this year. And defensively, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to force Denver Broncos to be one-dimensional offense. If they can do that and force a bunch of 3-and-outs to get offense back their ball, they'll win this game. For Denver, they just got to start fast. They can't afford to start slow. That's what they did against the Chargers, but they was able to find a way to win on the road. But against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you can't do that. If you do that, you're going to get beat, and you're going to get beat bad. And defensively, it has to step up. If they can do that, Denver wins this game.
All right, big game for both of these teams. Both of these teams, I mean, would you agree? The Denver Broncos have had an up and down season. So this is a game against an established team such as Denver as far as franchises are concerned. You think they're going to go into this game with a little something extra to prove?
Yeah, I think so. But they're gonna have a challenge.
All right, Denver Broncos and Pittsburgh Steelers, the third matchup. All right, see where you're gonna go with this, but I'm gonna say this matchup and see what you guys say about it. The Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings. What do you think about this one?
Well, they're both playing for wild card spots or second place behind the Bears. Because right now the Bears is leading the division, and I don't see nobody's coming back behind them, but there's still a lot of games left to be played. Mm-hmm. And the Green Bay Packers, they are hit with injuries, and Mike McCarthy's coaching job is on the line, I think, and he's definitely on the hot seat. So they're going to have to go to the drawing board. If Green Bay can figure out what's wrong offensively, defensively, and correct their mistakes, they can win those games. But injuries play part of it, and they be plagued with injury as well. If Mike McCarthy is fired, they got to clean out that whole house and start over. And for the Minnesota Vikings, last night against the Bears, they could have done better. I mean, it was a close game, but they shouldn't have made enough plays offensively. And Khalil Mack, did you see him throw that dude with one hand?
Yeah.
309 pounds. He just like, yeah.
That boy's a beast. Raiders. I still don't understand.
I still don't get it. I still don't get it. He had a strip. He forced a fumble. He's getting sacks. I'm like, this dude is on another level. Ever since Khalil Mack has came to the Bears, he's the Bears' savior. So good enough for the Bears, and it was worth a first-round draft pick for him. And the Minnesota has to go back to the drawing board and figure out defensively how they could get better. If they can force Green Bay Packers to be one-dimensional offense and be efficient offensively, they'll win this game. But this game came to the draw in week 2 because of the roughing the passer call, which is questionable, but that's another time for another day.
All right, Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings. The fourth and final matchup we're going to talk about is the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson and company taking on Mr. Marcus Mariota and Tennessee, and their defense that actually has been pretty decent as of late. Mike, what can you tell us about this one?
Well, after that big win over New England, Tennessee just went back to Tennessee. They got a full of themselves and got beat down by the Colts. I mean, how did T.Y. Hilton get that wide open against that secondary? I'm like, it just seems like when teams play New England Patriots and play them close or beat them, they get all emotional, excited, and all that, and don't concentrate on the next opponent. And that showed yesterday that win was definitely a fluke. I'm biased, yes, I said it, but it showed. But honestly, it showed that when you play a team like that and you get over emotional, and sometimes that can cause you to lose. And it has happened before. Tennessee just got to get back and playing the Tennessee football. And Marcus Mariota, he's questionable with an injury. And offensively, they're struggling. And they might be struggling against the Texans defense, but they got to figure out the way to get out of that mode. If they can, and also go along with defense playing well, then Tennessee has a chance to win this game. For Houston, Texas, they're just playing ball on all cylinders, offense, defense, and special teams, executing. Even though it's not the prettiest win, a win is a win.
Absolutely.
And that's all that matters. And they're leading a 7-game winning streak right now.
All right. That's going to take us to the final segment, the final part of Gameball NFL Endzone, and that is the predictions for the top 4 matchups going into Week 12. And we're going to start with the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. Mike, who do you and Luke got?
Luke has the Seahawks winning this matchup. I feel like Carolina let one slip away, and they know that. And I don't trust both defenses enough, but I do trust Carolina's offense and their running game will be established to go along with that passing game. I say they'll win by a slim margin. I'm going to say the score 25-17 Panthers over the Seahawks.
I agree with you. Both defenses are really suspect. For me, I'm a fan of Russell Wilson, but he doesn't always put up the biggest numbers, especially when it comes to like yardage. He'll give you a touchdown or two, and he makes good plays. He's a really good quarterback. But I feel like against Cam Newton, I think Cam Newton is going to put up bigger numbers. I think he's going to put up enough yards to get that offense moving more than Seattle. I think it's going to be close, but I think it will be, I say 28-21. I got the Panthers over the Seahawks. It's an interesting one. The Steelers and the Broncos. Who do you got?
I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning. I see them keep rolling, and Denver got some win. Good for them, but it won't be enough to stop the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And Antonio Brown's going to be a nightmare. Juju Smith-Schuster is playing lights out football at the receiver position, and that running back Connor. What an amazing story. He had an ACL tear, beat cancer, and he's playing out of his mind, replacing Le'Veon Bell. And their defense is playing better, so I'm going to Pittsburgh Steelers to win. I'm going to say 28-14. Pittsburgh gets it done. And Luke has the Pittsburgh Steelers winning as well.
Thank you, touched on it. I'm just going to go with it. I got the Steelers winning over the Broncos as well. This isn't the best year for the Denver Broncos. The Steelers will get it done. I agree with that. I'm going to say 35-14. I think they'll get it done with the Broncos. The Packers and the Vikings, who y'all got?
It's a toss-up for me. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. I just don't, with all the injuries that the Packers are dealing with, I just don't trust them enough. And it'll be close, but at the end, the Vikings will pull away. They make more plays offensively and defensively to stop the Packers and to score on the Packers. So I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings wins this one. I'm going to say 20-17, and Luke has the Vikings winning as well.
I'm going to say the same thing. I feel bad for the Packers this year. This isn't your typical Packers team. Part of me wants to say Aaron Rodgers will find a way to put him on his back, but I just feel like he doesn't have enough to do that. I'm going to say it's going to be close. I say 20-17. I got
plagued with injuries as well.
Yep. I got the Vikings over the Packers in that one. And the fourth and final matchup, H-Town against the Tennessee Titans. So you got Watson and Mariota.
Luke has the Houston Texans to win it, and I got the Texans winning as well. I mean, they're playing at a good time right now. They're starting to peak, even though it's win by ugly at some times, but win's a win. And they're playing well on all cylinders, offense, defense, and special teams. And depending on Marcus Mariota's health, I just don't trust the Titans. And their defense, it's not fascinating to me. And I say the Texans will win. It will be close early, but the Texans will ride to the sunset with a win. So I'm going to say Texas wins the score of 31-17.
I agree with you. I agree with both of y'all. I like Houston as well. The Tennessee Titans defensively is almost like heads or tails. Heads, they can show up. Tails, they may not. That's all I can really say about it. I just think Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. I think he'll find a way to expose the defense. I think they'll find a way to break away in the second half. I'm going to say 21. I'll say 21-7. Honestly, I think they'll have the win over Tennessee. And that is going to do it for this week's edition of Gameball NFL Endzone.
Social media, you can follow us on Gameball, College Kickoff /NFL Endzone. That's on Facebook. And email us at gck.gnfle@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter page at gck_gnfle. You can also follow your boy on Twitter, all caps, Gameball_Mike NYKE. You can also follow us on our Instagram at GCK_GNFLE. Get your clothing gear, t-shirts, workout shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, all the above on our clothing line website at tokendesignstopeka.com/gameball. That's TOKAN designstopeka.com/gameball. That's that's token, not toucan, folks. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button, my right to your left to your right, vice versa, at gck.gnfletv. When you hit that subscribe button, also hit that notification button as well to get more alerts and updates on our postings. I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Jovell Entertainment is the page. That's capital JOVELLE Entertainment. Also for inquiries, also you can email us at jovellentertainment@gmail.com.
And you can also follow us on our other brother Luke on Facebook, Instagram as Lou Harnett, and on Twitter as Lou Harnett 2, folks. Before we go, we would like to wish everybody a happy, very blessed Thanksgiving. There are those who can't celebrate Thanksgiving like they want to due to some circumstances, but please reach out to shelter homes or any other group projects, wherever, and help out, give thanks to the people that came before us. And before we end this on a good note, what are your things to be thankful for?
I'm thankful for life, for starters. I'm thankful that I'm able to be an impact in my community. I'm thankful for my kids, my family. I'm thankful for, meeting a brother like yourself, shout out to Luke and helping me be a part of your dreams. So I appreciate that as well. So, I could go on and on, but I would say those are definitely just some of the things I'm thankful for.
Well, I'm thankful for life, opportunity, second chances, family and friends, and for us to be part of this vision and this dream that we're trying to chase, and we just got to keep pushing. And I thank the good Lord that we're still here, still
Absolutely.
breathing.
Yes.
Because there are those who are not thankful due to unfortunate circumstances as well. And we also want to shout out to salute to the men and women who are overseas serving our country.
Yes.
To the Army, Marines, the Navy, all the above. We thank you so much for our bottom of our heart. It means the world to us that you go out there, serve our country, and protect our freedom and all that good stuff. So salute to anybody who's serving the Army, Navy, and Marines team. God bless you, and hopefully you come home soon.
Absolutely.
I'm Michael Riley.
I'm Marcus Young Jenkins.
This is Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Peace. We are love. See you next time, and have a happy, blessed Thanksgiving from all of us.
I'll probably be 10 pounds heavier.